Hey everyone, I'm Chris, and this is Cue the Credits. Welcome back to Cue the Credits. If you're new here, I'm Chris, and on this channel we talk everything physical media, collector's editions, boutique releases, and as you can see behind me, the art of collecting. Today I've got something really exciting to share with everyone. This is Super Space Theatre Volume 2, and this is Space 1999. This is coming straight from Anderson Entertainment. This is their new limited collector's edition. If you caught my very first video on the channel, you'll know that I looked at the Super Space Theatre Volume 1 Thunderbirds, and I was absolutely enamored by this set. The absolute care and precision that was put into this release by Anderson Entertainment is to be applauded. And you can check that video up just up there if you want to have more of a deep dive into it. But it only feels right that I am back with Space 1999. Within this video, I did note that just how impressed I was by this. I did do a blind buy pre-order for this set. And getting it out of the packaging this morning, just the sheer size of it in comparison, I was like, I think I've made the right decision. So let's dive into the packaging and let's see what this set has to offer. So straight up on the front of this, you can see that you've got some beautiful artwork from the 5 feature films included in this set. Now you do have a little J card here, which, I mean, it's hard to kind of call it a J card because it is tiny, but it's got a little bit of information. But you can take that off and that removes the ratings logos. This is a region 3 release, so you can display it proudly with the spine there with no UK ratings on there at all. And then onto the back, you can see that you've got the 5 films that are included on there, and then you've also got a little blurb on the back and some beautiful artwork taken straight from these releases. So very similar to the Thunderbird Super Space Theatre release, instead of getting a standard Amaray case, we've got like a bumper one here. But on the front of the case, you can see that you've got some lovely artwork from Alien Attack. And then turning it around to the side, you've also got the artwork from Journey Through the Black Sun. And then on the spine, for, you know, if whatever reason you wanted to just have this, you do have Super Space Theatre with the Space 1999 logo there. So once we open this up, you can see that we have got discs upon discs upon discs. So this is actually a 5-disc release, and all of the discs have some absolutely lovely artwork on them, as you can see here. So you are getting bang for your buck on this release, just for how much you actually get inside this. So that's the actual casing on there. You know what? It is, once again, it's great. It's had a lot of care put into it, and it's come to be what you expect from these latest Anderson releases, which is really nice. Once again in the set, you've got a bunch of lobby cards. So this one from Alien Attack, it's showing Martin Landau there. It's got the ITC Entertainment logo. And then we've got another one here showing Brian Johnson's effects. This one from Cosmic Princess showing the Mentor, played by Brian Blessed. But you know what? I really, really like these lobby cards. I think they kind of give you a little bit of a time capsule back to, you know, what things would look like back in the 70s, which is really nice. So then we've got a couple of page document here, which is basically restoration notes, the same as what was in the Thunderbird set. And they really just talk through how they've gone through this, how they've restored it, if they could do something or if they couldn't do something and why they couldn't. It is nice to note as well that it talks about the ongoing series of Super Space Theatre Blu-ray releases, which does allude that we will be getting a Volume 3 and potentially more. So maybe the Stingrays, maybe the Captain Scarlets, maybe the UFOs. So that is exciting to hear because these releases are absolutely gorgeous. A nice little bit of history to have in your collection. And on the final page of the restoration notes, we have a letter from David Hirsch, creative consultant on Super Space Theatre. Now this just goes into his experience 45 years on from creating the original Super Space Theatre. And I'd like to give a little shout out to Mr. David Hirsch, because he actually commented on my first Super Space Theatre Volume 1 review when I put up the first video on this channel. So nerding out a little bit, it is really cool to know that someone who worked on these projects has actually seen these videos. So thank you so much. Hope you're watching this one again. And finally, we have got a chunk of posters in this box set. So they are a little bit too big for my B-roll set to be able to see, so you can see them right here. So first one we've got is Alien Attack, and God, that's a cool poster in it. Like that's a nice poster. And then we've got Journey Through the Black Sun. Not as much of a fan as this one of Alien Attack, but it's still nice. And then we've got Cosmic Princess. So this is obviously one of the elements that is taken and put on the front cover of this release. And then finally, a poster for Destination Moonbase Alpha. These are all really, really lovely, high quality posters. So that is everything that is in the box for Volume 2 of Super Space Theatre. But let's talk the actual discs, because that's what you're here for, right? So, though this is Space 1999, this is part of that Super Space Theatre branding, which is, as we saw with Thunderbirds, and hopefully what we'll see with future releases, is that these are made for TV movies by stitching together previously produced TV episodes. So within this box set, we get a whopping 6 feature-length films from Space 1999 in this box set. You get the originally produced 4 movies. So first off in these films, we get Destination Moonbase Alpha, and it was a compilation of the 2-parter in season 2 of Bringers of Wonder. Next up we have Alien Attack, which is a compilation of Breakaway and War Games. Then we have Journey Through the Black Sun, which is a compilation of Collision Course and Black Sun. And finally we have Cosmic Princess, which is a compilation of The Metamorph and Space Warp. And this mainly focuses on Maya, a character from season 2 in Space 1999. Now these were the main 4 films that were released under that Super Space Theatre banner for Space 1999. But there was one more, and it was released to Italian markets, and it was Space 1999, or how it was released, Spazio 1999. Sorry, my Italian isn't great. Now this release was heavily edited, and it included a compilation of the following episodes: Breakaway, Ring Around the Moon, and Another Time, Another Place. This release also replaced the original score by Barry Gray with a score by Ennio Morricone. Dollars Trilogy, anybody? An absolutely nuts like switch on that side of things. And honestly, not to chop and change too much, watching Spazio 1999, I prefer the Barry Gray theme and composition. It just fits the tone a lot more. And finally for this release, we have a brand new Super Space Theatre movie. Now this is made specifically for this box set, and it is Prisoners in Space. And this is a compilation of Dorzak and Devil's Planet. So that's all the movies that are included on the discs. But also you've got some supplementary materials on each disc. So you get an interview with David Hirsch. You also get the Super Space Theatre story and the return of Victor Bergman, which are 2 feature-length doc styles, or featurettes, we should say, on that. So as you can see, this 5-disc set with 6 feature-length movies is pretty stacked. So I'm just going to read off what you actually get within these versions of the films. So
Alien Attack, Journey Through the Black Sun, Cosmic Princess, and Destination Moonbase Alpha, so all of the original 4 films. They get a 4x3 HD version with the movie soundtrack. They also get a 16:9 widescreen HD version with the episodic soundtrack. You also get original trailers for all of the original movies. And then on Journey Through the Black Sun and Cosmic Princess, you get the VHS SD version with the original movie soundtrack. And then you also get the original NTSC opening titles for Cosmic Princess and Journey Through the Black Sun. Moonbase Alpha, you also get the unrestored 35mm film print scan of that.
So just basically, Anderson Entertainment have gone, we're going to go on a searching mission for everything that we can absolutely find on Space 1999 Super Space Theatre, and have pretty much found everything, which is just chef's kiss for a collector and for someone who love seeing this amount of, once again, I'm repeating myself, I know, once amount of care that's put into this, it's great.
And then finally on disc 5, which is the Space 1999, the Italian version, and the brand new version, Prisoners in Space, you get the Space 1999 16:9 HD remaster with the original Italian soundtrack and Ennio Morricone score. And then you also get the brand new Prisoners in Space with a 4x3 HD. And disc 5 is also where you get those two featurette docs, the Super Space Theatre story and the Return of Victor Bergman.
There is a lot on this set, and there is a lot that has gone into the restoration and remastering of these episodes, movies, however you want to call them. But as with the Thunderbirds one, it is really interesting to see how these were cut together to make themselves their own kind of standalone movies. And for collectors, it's a fascinating piece of Anderson history to be able to have, and having such a gorgeous set. So how does it look and sound? Obviously I've alluded to this previously, but the transfers are once again incredible. Like, it looks so sharp, and the amount of time that they've obviously put into cleaning up these prints and scans, finding everything that they can to make this a complete restoration is brilliant. I love that you get the option for 4x3 or 16:9. You can decide which version of sound that you want to hear. And on certain ones of the movies, you can actually see the original VHS or the original 35mm scan that's been unedited. It's great to see all the various different versions on these discs, so you can basically choose exactly how you want to see the film. The colours pop, the sets, the miniatures, and just the whole general vibe is just something that you want to like sit into. On these discs you get around about 480 minutes of content, which is just everything you could want to watch on this. And for someone who hasn't seen Space 1999, it's really exciting to know that I've got more of these stories that I can go into and watch and experience with these characters. Sound wise, it is a stereo presentation. It is done by Barry Gray, it has been remastered, and you can tell that it has been brought up to a modern stereo level, and it sounds great. Like, once again, with the Thunderbirds one, I noted that you don't necessarily need all of the, you know, a 5.1 system and it being pushed up to that, because it still sounds just as good. Anderson Entertainment have clearly, and I'll say it again, taken time, love and care when making this box set, and it really shows. Everything's left on screen, and quite honestly, for someone who's never seen this and going in as a blind buy, I'm really happy with this purchase. For me, this box set ticks all of the same boxes that the Thunderbird set does. Beautiful packaging, carefully restored content, and the feeling of collecting something that is truly unique. If you're a fan of Space 1999 or just an Ander fan, then this is an absolute must pick up for you. This set, obviously along with the Thunderbirds one, has made me really excited for what Super Space Theatre volumes are coming up in the future. It's clear that Anderson Entertainment are building a clear, consistent collector's line with these Super Space Theatre volumes, and I think fans will want to see the rest of the Super Space Theatre movies brought to life in these wonderful limited edition collector's box sets. So that is my unboxing and review / overview of Space 1999 Super Space Theatre Volume 2. If you haven't already, please go check out my Thunderbirds Super Space Theatre Volume 1 unboxing and review. It was the first video on this channel, and I'm still really proud of it. The link will be probably around here at the end of this video. So, are you a fan of Space 1999? Will you be picking up this box set? It gets released on the 1st of September in the UK, but as noted, it is a region-free release. It retails in the UK for $44.99 and is available at all major retailers as well as Jerry Anderson's store directly. It works out to around about $60, and personally, I think you're really getting a bang for your buck within this release. You get 6 feature-length movies, and as I said, every penny is left on the screen in this release. And a little bit in the box for those posters and lobby cards. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want more physical media reviews, unboxings, and just me chatting about all of this stuff. Stay tuned right here on Cue the Credits. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. And because you can't have an unboxing video without an obligatory ripping of the cellophane, there you go.